You and I are going to hit our Instagram goals before the end of the year, which means we have 3 months to transform our Instagrams. I'm about to tell you exactly how I'm going to hit my goal of 100,000 followers so you can steal this exact strategy so you can hit your goal too. By the way, this video is sponsored by ManyChat, more on them later. All right, I'm going to break this plan down month by month, so make sure you follow along so that you can hit your goals too, right? Month 1 is about doubling down. Now, in order for us to reach our goals, whether it's reaching 100,000 followers, which I've already said is my goal, I have to keep on saying it out loud so that you guys hold me accountable, or whether it's improving your engagement rate or just improving the overall quality of your content, regardless of what that goal is, you're going to need to know what has worked for you up until this point so that you can spend the first month of your plan doubling down on what works. Remember, we only have 3 months to reach our goals, guys, so we're just diving straight into like the more advanced strategies, but also the more effective ones. So what does this month involve? The first thing that you need to do in order to double down on what's working is to figure out what has been working. So let's do this together. I'm going to head into my Instagram and open up my professional dashboard. Please note that in order for you to get access to these analytics, you do need to either have a creator or a business account. If you decide to switch to one of those accounts as a result of this video, great, but just note that it might take a while for all of your data to kind of gather, right? I'm on my Instagram. I'm going to click on professional dashboard, and straight away you're going to see that all of your insights are grouped into 4 different categories. There's your views, so how many views your content is getting, how many interactions your content is getting, how many new followers you've acquired, and also how much content you shared. What I want to do is focus on those top 3 categories, and we're going to click into each of them, scroll down to the section what says top content. If you go ahead and click on see all, you're going to see the top content from the last 30 days based on the views, because that was the category that we selected. Now, depending on how active you've been in the last 30 days, you might want to change this timestamp to the last 6 months, maybe even the last year. I don't recommend doing anything longer than that though, because you still want the data to be relevant. I've actually been pretty active for the last month on Instagram, so I'm just going to leave mine as the last 30 days because that means I've got enough data to work from. And what I'm basically going to do is take a quick screenshot of the top content that's appearing in this section. I'm then going to come back out and do the same thing for the other categories. So interactions, we're going to scroll to top reels, and then we're going to screenshot, and then let's go to new followers, and we're going to scroll to top content, and then we're going to screenshot. Now, the reason why I wanted to take screenshots is because this way we're able to refer back to the top performing content under each category with ease. So here you can see the top performing content under each category for me. And can you see how it changes depending on what we're looking at? So the content that got the most views is not the same as the content that actually got me the most followers. However, there are a few posts that appear quite consistently across all of them. For example, my trend report post performed well across all 3 metrics, as did this one, which is the new way to grow on Instagram, as did my cash to content episode 6 post, right? So what I'm now going to do is go back into my Instagram account. I'm going to find those 3 posts and I'm going to save them to a folder. So if we scroll down, we've got this one. I'm just going to call it Q for best posts. So now that I've saved these, I can go into my save folders and just open it up so those best posts are there. See? Now, if you want to save more than 3 posts, then you're more than welcome to. The point is that whichever posts you save to this folder should be saved because they performed really well for you in the last 30 days, 6 months to a year, right? So now that you can easily scroll between your best performing posts, you're able to identify the elements of this content that has worked well for you, right? This is the stuff we need to know in order for us to double down. Because remember, month 1 is about doubling down on what's worked. There are a few things I can learn from doing this quick audit myself. The first thing is that my trend reports perform really, really well for me. So this is something that I'm going to want to double down on for the first month of this challenge. Also, my content to cash series, where I break down the different things creators need to know in order to turn their content into an income, that works really well for me as well and is a great growth driver. In addition to this, Instagram tips that focus on a new feature and that's heavily valuable and educational also performs really well for me. Something that I also noticed that all of these videos have in common is the style of how I filmed them. So I've got a lot of different angles going on. I've got the bird's eye view happening. I've got the interactive text on the screen. The production value of these are quite high, if I do say so myself. And whilst they're an absolute pain to film because they take so long, clearly it's working for me and it's actually getting me some really good results. So these are the things that I want to double down on, right? But it's not enough just to identify what these things are. You need to make an actual plan. So my plan is that I'm going to challenge myself myself to upload one trend report every week. At the moment, I do them like every 2 to 3 weeks, but I'm going to try and push myself to do them every week. And I'm going to upload at least one episode of my Content to Cash series every week, if not two. Again, usually I only upload these like every 2 weeks because they take so long to produce, right? But I'm going to really challenge myself to up the amount of content that I'm creating that aligns with the content that already works in month one, because this is going to give me that push that I need. And hopefully I'll be able to ride that momentum for the rest of the year. Now, there is something else that all three of these posts have in common that you may have spotted. All of them have super high engagement, and that's because I use ManyChat to drive up my comments. Now, if you're not familiar with ManyChat already, it's a Meta approved platform which allows you to set up automations on Instagram, WhatsApp, and Messenger. Now, my personal go-to feature is the auto DM replies. What it basically allows you to do is to add a call to action to your content. For example, comment the word lowdown to get a link to join my newsletter. And every single person who comments the word lowdown, not only do they get an instant response to that comment from me saying, thanks so much, check your inbox, but they also get a direct message from me instantly with the link that they've requested. Now, let me show you this in action for these top 3 posts, right? So for this post, which is my Content to Cash series, I included the call to action. If you want more guidance, I've got you, comment income, and I'll send you my free income guide. That generated 191 comments. If you look at my trend report, a call to action that I have in here is to comment the word trend, and I will send you a link to all of the example content that I share in the report, right? 2,120 comments. And then this one, which is all about the new Instagram feature repost and how you can use it to grow, includes the lowdown call to action example that I just shared. So comment the word lowdown and I'll send you a link to my newsletter so you can get weekly emails from me with the lowdown of new Instagram features amongst so much else, right? This one got 140 comments and I use ManyChat for every single one. This is actually part of a strategy that I implemented around a month ago where I wanted to do my best to have some form of call to action facilitated by my ManyChat automation for almost every single post that I share on my Instagram. And I honestly credit this to helping me revive my channel. In the last 6 to 8 weeks, I've gained almost 20,000 followers. Mental. Now, a top tip for me for anyone who's getting started with ManyChat is to try and include your call to action either at the top of your caption or verbally at the end of your video. This way you increase the chances of people actually knowing that they can comment a word and get something sent to them in their inbox. If you bury the call to action at the bottom of your caption and you don't actually say it in the video or the content itself, a lot of people will never know that you even have this automation set up, and then you're going to miss out on some incredible leads. I know I mentioned this already, but I just want to reiterate the fact that this is approved by Meta. So you will not be penalized by Meta or by Instagram for using ManyChat. It is an approved app and an approved partner. Also, you can use ManyChat in different ways. You don't have to use it the way that I just explained. You can also use it to grow your email list, to run giveaways, promote affiliate products, and even use it to push traffic to your YouTube channel. So as a reminder, month 1 of this challenge is about doubling down on what works and pairing this with tools like ManyChat to really maximize your traction. Check out the link in my description to get 30 days of ManyChat Pro for free. All right, let's move on to month 2. Remember, this is only 3-month plan. So we got to get moving and we've got some stuff to do, right? So in month 2, I'm going to focus on releasing a new series and also focus on deepening my engagement with my audience. Now, as we know, October was all about doubling down on what's already working. So November is now about pushing out something fresh. Unfortunately for all of us, Instagram does tend to punish stagnation. It gets annoyed when you keep on doing the same thing. So we do have to consistently reinvent our content in order to keep things fresh. So what we're going to do is use the data from October's activity to launch a brand new signature series. I'm actually going to film a whole video on signature series because, oh my God, have they changed my Instagram channel, but also are they flooding everyone else's? I'm not sure if that's going to be live at the time of filming, but just check out the library of content I have on my YouTube channel to see if it's available, because that's a great video to watch next. So at this moment in time, I don't know exactly what this new series is going to be called or even what it's going to focus on. And the reason why is because I want to get to the end of month 1 so that I can review the analytics and the data and then use that information to inform what my future series will be. So I'm going to be looking at things like which content got the most views, interactions, and followers, but I'm also going to be looking at what the commentary was. So what people were commenting under my content and whether people were asking similar questions amongst all of my posts. I can then use that qualitative data, which honestly, in this case, is probably more valuable than the quantitative. I want to use the qualitative data to actually make an informed decision as to what my future series should be. If you're going to look to do the same thing, please remember that your series should be heavily valuable. So whether it's supposed to be educational or entertaining or relatable or inspirational. Pick a value and really go hard on it. And it also needs to be heavily targeted. So your series should be really trying to speak to one type of person, right? My series is very much for content creators who want to earn an income. Like, it's very specific, which means that each episode is quite easy for me to prep because I'm so focused on who it's for. You need to achieve something similar when it comes to yours. Now, I did mention that the second thing I want to do in month 2 is to really focus on community engagement. The reason why is because hopefully in month 1, by doubling down on what has previously worked for me, I've probably gotten a bunch of new followers into my audience. I'm hoping for at least another 10,000 followers as a result of month 1's activity. Now, a mistake that a lot of people make when it comes to growing their account is they only focus on growth and they don't take the time to engage and nurture their followers. And what could end up happening when you do that is you can end up with a huge audience, but really low engagement, because whilst people have decided to follow you, you've not actually tried to get to know them or engage with them. So they actually don't really stick around. They might still follow you, but they don't really check your content and they're not really that engaged in what you have to say. I don't want to make that mistake. So therefore, in month 2, I'm going to focus on doing some engagement-led activities. Some of these activities include running at least 2 Q&As on my stories. So just whacking up a Q&A box and just helping people with their social media channels, with their journeys. And that way I can really bond with my audience. I'm also going to challenge myself to show up on my stories at least 3 times a week, even if it's just very casual. The reason why this is a challenge for me is because I haven't been massively active on my stories recently because I've been putting so much effort into my feed content. But there does need to be a balance of the two if you want to really get that strong connection with your community. Another thing that I'm going to really ramp up is DMing new followers. So this is something that I still do every now and again, like just look at some recent followers from my page and just send them a message being like, hey, thanks for following. Like, I hope you find my content useful, and just leaving it at that. It's a really nice like surprise and delight thing that I feel like I do. And I think it's quite unexpected. I don't think a lot of people now, maybe in the early days they expected it, but I don't think a lot of people now expect me to send those messages. So I like to think that it leaves a nice impression on new people being welcomed into my world. So I'm going to really try to ramp that up in November. Last thing I'm going to do, which is tied into kind of deepening my engagement, is I want to try and share more connection content. If you've done my engagement challenge, which I'll link to below in case you're really focused on engagement at the moment, then you already know what I'm referring to here. Connection content is content that you share not for the purpose of necessarily being valuable or going viral. It's just being shared for the purpose of sharing a bit about you and your life. So in November, it's my birthday, turning the grand old age of 33. So I will probably upload something to do with my birthday around that time. And that will just help people get to know me a bit more and kind of bring them in behind the scenes. It's not going to be valuable. I'm not going to go viral, but it may help me connect more with my existing audience. So I'm going to try and do a few posts like that as well. The goal for this month is to nurture my audience so that they stick around. Month 1 just got a bunch of new people through the door. Month 2 is about getting new people through the door with a brand new series, but then getting them to stick around by really nurturing that relationship. Okay, it's month 3, the final month of this challenge. Oh my God, we've got so much to do in such a short space of time, but I have faith. Okay, we're going to hit our goals. Month 3 is about consistency and scale. So if you're doing this with me in real time, then month 3 will be December. But please note that you can do this plan at any time of the year, right? If you do this with me in real time, then you'll probably think, is December the best time for you to really ramp up your content? Because a lot of creators do one of 2 things in December. They either take the month off, that's usually me, or they do Vlogmas and they share content every single day. This year, I'm going to go down this route. And if you want to hit some goals before the end of the year, then you're probably going to want to do the same. Even though it's tempting to just take the month off, your audience's appetite in your content actually increases in December. I'm curious to see how this works for my niche, because my niche is obviously quite work heavy and most people do want to wind down from work in December. So maybe that won't be the case for me. But if you are in a lifestyle niche or a fashion niche or pretty much any other niche, people's appetite for your content increases because they know what Vlogmas is. They know that their creators are sharing more content. So they love it and they lean into it. So this could be an incredible growth opportunity for you. So my plan, as I say this, I'm like, am I going to stick to this? I'm going to try my best. My plan is to increase my posting schedule from 4 to 5 posts per week to 6 to 7 posts per week. Oh, it's going to be a difficult one. It's going to be hard. But we're going to do it. I will say that the exception to this will be like around Christmas and like New Year's Eve. I probably won't post around that time. A girl's got to take a break, you know? By this stage, you should know what content works, and you should also have your ManyChat automation set up. So you should be really like maximizing your content. What this actually means is that scaling should be simple, hopefully, because you should have some clear data telling you which content you should really focus on. So in month 3, I want you to focus on the content that has been working for you in months 1 and 2 and just share more of it. Like, it's literally that simple. Just share more of it. There's no new tactics in this month. It's more about continuing all the tactics that you've been doing previously and just ramping it up so that you're actually sharing more content than you usually do. And that is your 3-month plan to reaching your goals. Do not forget that you can get 30 free days of ManyChat Pro if you head to the link in my description. If you feel like hanging around, I recommend watching this video. It's all about the latest features coming to Instagram and how you can utilize them to grow. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I can't wait to see you in my next video.